guitar teacher told me it's important to understand the open notes, you know, E, A, D, G, B, E, but he didn't mean it just that simply. He meant being able to play in the open position, which is all the way down here. And when you think about it, this position where most people think they should begin, which they should, is actually the most difficult. It requires the most trained coordination and flexibility in the hands and the fingers, because the gaps in the frets are the widest down here, and you're also furthest away. And some people play with their guitar more to the left side than the right side, depending if they're standing or sitting. You know, classically, you play with it more to the left side as a classical guitarist. A lot of rockers like to play it on the right side and have more of a tilt to it to get easier access for all the shredding. I kind of tend to be right in the middle because I don't want to create too much of a stretch to where I'm constantly focusing the shoulder outward just to compensate for the proper wrist alignment so that my wrist isn't, bending one way or another. But on the topic of the open strings, what I want to talk about is the fact that if you can play open notes and open chords, it only gets easier as you go down, or I should say as you climb up. Everything narrows in, so to speak. So if you can play all your open notes and move between chords in different scales with the rest of the open notes as you're working into one string to the other, then other scales like pentatonic scales as you climb up the board only become easier and more simplified really to the brain because they're more caged. Hence the caged system that I stay away from that stuff. But it's important to know these open notes because it can help you find your octaves better and help you familiarize yourself with the guitar better and get used to being able to jump into any scale. And I'm not quite there yet myself because I've been way out of practice. I'm just trying to get back in. But for instance, you have, if I was to start playing on the A string, this A, B, C, D, E, and then jump up, I know automatically that the second fret on the D string is an E. Same way, going from the second string to the third string, from A to D, I'm sorry, I just kind of lost it there, hold on a second, hence the shirt. So the A string, A, B, C, D, or I'm sorry, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. A, B, B, C, whoops, D, this one's on the third fret. G, third fret. So now you've given yourself a landmark. If you're on the 3rd fret of the high E string, you know you're on G, because if you play open G with it, and same with the B string on the 3rd fret, you know you're playing a D. And you've also discovered from then on down to the lower, thicker strings, it's the 2nd fret, and just go 1 string up or 1 string down from it. I'm sorry, 2 strings, but I mean a gap. You know that the G string 2nd fret is an A. And that the D string 2nd fret is an E. And as you climb up, things only get more scrunched together and more simplified because you're using more fingers. And especially if you're doing barred chords. That's just a variation of the E minor shape. But if I add the E major into it, what I'm actually playing is a G major and minor. Because these are both E's, the 1st and the 6th string, and I'm on the 3rd fret, so we know this is G and G. And I'm barring that G position. G major, G minor. But for me, the open position is actually the most challenging, and for these reasons, because you're constantly having to think about the other open notes that you're working with when you're on 1 string and wanting to move to the next. That's all I really wanted to get at, is play open notes if you're not doing it already. Play more in the open position down here. Don't be stuck up here all the time and just running scales in barred positions. You're only limiting yourself. But if you can move between all the open notes and you know what open notes correlate to the note you're playing on whatever string, it'll only make you that much better and make things so much easier navigating the guitar. I myself have a lot of practice to go at it. That's all I really wanted to share. Play open notes if you're not doing it already.